This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is Jeff Kendrick. He is the CEO of CEMATRIX Corporation. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: CTXXF on the OTCQB and CVX on the TSX Venture. And CEMATRIX will be presenting at our upcoming virtual event, the SNN Network Canada virtual event, happening December 7 through 9, 2021. To register and see that presentation, please go to canada.snn.network. With that, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, Robert. I'm doing great, as always.
It's fantastic to see you. I mean, look, it's been a while. I think the last time we did an interview together was a little over 2 years ago. So before we get into all those updates, for those who may not have never heard of CEMATRIX, or it's been a while, what's that one line that CEMATRIX does? And then we'll go from there.
Well, it has been a while, and I appreciate being back with you again. Well, CEMATRIX is in the business of cellular concrete right across North America. We're the leaders in this field and the leaders in technology around the world as well. And cellular concrete is essentially one of the fastest growing construction material markets in the world today.
Very good. So, Jeff, like I said, we had you, I did an interview with you. Last time we published that was May 17, 2019. So rather than getting all the updates in the last 2+ years, what would you say are some of the company's highlights in the last 12 months or so?
Well, let's get the negative one out of the way first. I mean, we've been seriously affected by COVID, as a lot of companies have in the construction industry. Fortunately, we see the light at the end of the tunnel now, and although it certainly affected our last 2 years, including this year ended December 31, 2021, we see 2022 as really being a breakout year for CEMATRIX. It's looking very strong, and so that's great. The ongoing highlight is, of course, the continued organic growth. So our backlog has actually grown 27% since year end. So even though the sales are not going into the ground as quicker, organically, we continue to land projects and build up our basically backlog for the future for 2022 and beyond. We've seen our bids in Canada up 50% over last year at the end of the last quarter. And we've also seen our Canadian sales rebound. I mean, last year, our Canadian sales actually went backwards 50% because of the way Canada approached the COVID crisis. So we're almost seeing them rebounding completely to the previous years, or the year previous to when the COVID hit. Next highlight is, of course, we've been able to retain all our key and quality staff. Now, that's been at a cost. I mean, a lot of companies laid off a lot of their staff, and we did not. We saw it as a negative, and we certainly are glad that we did retain our staff. Certainly lost more than we could have if we laid them off, but trying to find them again when they are skilled workers in the production of cellular concrete would have been almost impossible in this market. So I think it was a good move for the company and our shareholders, even though there is a short-term cost up to that. Next highlight, we've added two more key directors: Anna Cuglietta, who's got a strong construction HR background, and John Kim, who has a strong investment banking, acquisition, and positive public company experience, brings to the table. So they've been great additions to our team. And then finally, we raised over $23 million in April. So we've been able to utilize that cash to pay off some of our high interest debt. And right now we have a very strong balance sheet. We've started our regional expansion into the southern US, and we're looking at acquisitions as we speak.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you for all those highlights here. And one thing I wanted to hit on, because I mean, this is clearly probably top headline news right now across the board when it comes to the cost of construction, and especially in the US with the infrastructure bill. So what would you say are some of the tailwinds, the industry-wide tailwinds that CEMATRIX is potentially looking to take advantage of?
Well, probably the one advantage that we're taking advantage of right now is that we can supply material. So we're not tied up in this supply chain issues. It's really our general contractors that are having the delay issues. So even when there was some shortage in cement supply because of the strong relationship we have with Lafarge Holcim, the largest cement company in the world, we haven't had any delays. We also have a good supply of product on the West Coast where others have had problems getting cement supply. So that's a good situation to be in. And then we found that one of our competitive products, that's EPS blocks and rigid installations, there's actually a 9-month delay in those products. So we're replacing some of those projects right now as we speak. So.
Very good. All right. So before I let you go here today, from what you can tell us, and you've alluded to this a little bit already in my previous question and earlier, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts now going into 2022?
Oh, there's a number of value catalysts. I think that the organic growth that I spoke of, again, is still early stage in the US, even though it's 10 years ahead of Canada. So there's a tremendous room for growth just organically in the market. Our technologies enable us to produce a material that's lighter and stronger than our competitors. So we're in a much better position moving forward as we look at these larger projects and working with engineers in their design. I think our continued focus on R&D sets us apart from the others in the marketplace. And then our preparedness is something that I already mentioned, is that one, in our equipment, we have over 2.5 million cubic yards of seasonally adjusted production capacity. So without adding another piece of equipment, we could do 175 million in sales. So well positioned from that perspective. And as mentioned, our people, our staff, we're well prepared for the future. So we can turn one crew into 3 crews, just hire some labor and grow our business. And then finally, our balance sheet, strong balance sheet with over $20 million in the bank. We're prepared for growth and ready to move forward. Our focus on the environment is very important to us. And cellular concrete is not always environmentally friendly, but it is. And in addition to that, we're looking at other environmentally construction friendly products to add to our sales package for selling through our sales system. And then finally, the pending $1 trillion that Biden's planning on spending on infrastructure in the US. It just was approved by the Senate last night, I believe. So we don't count on that but we treat it as bonus sales, but we do believe that it will affect us not only in 2022, but for the foreseeable future as well.
Very good. Well, Jeff, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on CEMATRIX?
Best place to look is just go to our website. You can go there, find my contact information, our 2 IR firms, being the Howard Group in Bristol, and other people within the company as well. And plus, you can get a really good idea of what cellular concrete is used for. And as you know, Robert, there's just thousands of applications.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Thanks for having me on. Take care.